the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Father, I thank you for all these blessings that you have given me throughout this day. Now, those who are suffering, those who are in pain, hunger, in need of shelter, or thirsty, or homeless, please allow them to find refuge in you. Allow them not only to find that refuge, but also to find the peace of mind that you endow in each of us. Help us always to surrender ourselves to you entirely, even if it seems pointless. Help us to find rest with you, and in Jesus Christ, your only Son begotten, who lives and reigns with you forever and ever. Amen. All right, brothers and sisters, today we're going to be reading chapter, let's see, hold on, let me just make sure. We're going to read chapter 18 and 19 and 21. All right, so chapter 18 is only about the full establishment of David's kingdom. And now, after this, it came to pass that David smote the Philistines and subdued them, and took Gath and her towns out of the hand of the Philistines. And he smote Moab, and the Moabites became David's servants, and brought gifts. And David smote Hadarezer, king of Zobah, unto Hamath, as he went to establish his dominion by the river Euphrates. And David took from him 1,000 chariots and 7,000 horsemen and 20,000 footmen. And David also hugged all the chariot horses, but reserved them 100 chariots. And when the Syrians of Damascus came to help Hadarezer, the king of Zobah, David slew of the Syrians 22,000 men. Then David put garrisons in Syria, Damascus, and the Syrians became David's servants and brought gifts. Thus the Lord preserved David whithersoever he went. And David took the shields of gold that were on the servants of Hadarezer and brought them to Jerusalem. Likewise from Tibhath and from Con, cities of Hadarezer, brought David very much brass wherewith Solomon made the brazen scene, and the pillars and the vessels of brass. Jennifer, God bless you. How's it going? Now when Tau, king of Hamath, heard how David had smitten when Tou, king of Hamath, heard how David had smitten all the host of Hadarezer, king of Zobah, he sent Hadaram, his son, to King David, to inquire of his welfare and to congratulate him, because he had fought against Hadarezer and smitten him. For Hadarezer had war with Tou, and with him all manner of vessels of gold and silver and brass. Nice to hear, Jennifer. Nice to hear. Well, welcome in. In case you want to join in reading the Bible, right now I'm doing chapter 18 of 1 Chronicles. Okay. Then also King David dedicated unto the Lord with the silver and the gold that he brought from all these nations, from Edom and from Moab and from the children of Ammon, and from the Philistines and from Amalek. Moreover, Abishai the son of Zeruiah slew of the Edomites in the valley of Salt 18,000. And he put garrisons in Edom, and all the Edomites became David's servants. Thus the Lord preserved David whithersoever he went. So David reigned over all Israel and all over executed judgment and justice among all his people. And Joab the son of Zeruiah was over the host, and Jehoshaphat the son of Ahilud, recorder, and Joab the son of Zeruiah was over the host, and Zadok, the son of Ahitub, and Abimelech the son of Abiathar were the priests, and Shabsha was scribe, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada was over the Kerethites and the Pelethites, and the sons of David were chief about the king. Okay, so quickly, it's basically David smote the king of Zobah, and from that he acquired brass, gold, and silver. Aham 14, or hopefully I'm saying that correctly. How's it going? God bless you. Right now I'm reading the Bible. Just a quick disclaimer, folks. I'm not a person who claims to know about the Bible, nor do I know about it in its entirety. All I'm doing is just reading it to you so you can take an experience with you. You gift me Robux, Moises Castillo Pry. God bless you. Yes, you said it. You said it right. Awesome. Awesome. Aham 14. Aham 14. Yeah. So, just quickly, we're gonna get a break here, and we'll start off chapter 19, the Ammonite Syrian War. You can call me a slice of ham. Okay, a slice of ham it is. In all seriousness, I do enjoy myself some ham. Especially that ham that you buy at H-E-B. H-E-B is a grocery store in Texas. You buy one of those hams with pepper, and it's real good. And it goes well with wheat. God bless you, Mike. Welcome in. I made a homepage for the orphanage kids, but I had a hard time finding it. So true. Yeah, peppercorn and ham. They go well with whole wheat bread. All grains in there. Sorry, Mike. Would you I'm not sure how to handle this, but I kind of wish that, I don't know. Do you know what the website is called? Or the homepage? Or you could type in the name and I could try to look it up. Maybe you could tell them to look up that title, and then they could find it there. I think he was making a joke. Oh. Okay. If it's actually a joke, then I'm missing the punchline. The only joke that I know is the one with the Portuguese, because the geese, and what else? What is a computer's favorite ice cream flavor? Because orphans don't have a home page. Oh. I guess it works. The page part makes it work a little less, but I can sort of get it. Okay. So yeah, let's see how much this next chapter is. It's about a page long. How's your day? My day is most of the day is okay, I guess. Um, it's mainly boring, except for tonight, where I was watching the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche. Man, the Avalanche were up for most of the game, and boy, I thought they were gonna win, and I was proven wrong. We scored 4 unanswered goals, tied it at 3-2, or tied it at 2, and then 3-2 we took the lead, and then an empty netter um, by Mikko Rantanen, who had a hat trick. Don't watch football. No, this is hockey. Football doesn't start until September. Well, technically August, but that's only the preseason. September is when it starts. Um, so in the meantime, I've got hockey, and I've got. I don't watch basketball, to be honest, but if there's also that. What else? Baseball's there. Lots of things. So yeah. Anyways, let's start back up with chapter 19, the Ammonite-Syrian War. Now it came to pass after this that Nahash, the king of the children of Ammon, died, and his son reigned in his stead. And David said, I'll show kindness unto Hanun, the son of Nahash, because his father showed kindness to me. And David sent messengers to comfort him concerning his father. So the servants of David came into the land of the children of Ammon to Hanun to comfort him. But the princes of the children of Ammon said to Hanun, Thinkest thou that David doth honor thy father, that he sent comforters unto thee? Are not his servants come unto thee for search and for overthrow into spy land? Whereover Hanun took David's servants and shaved them and cut off their garments in the midst, hard by their buttocks, and sent them away. And then there went certain and told David how the men were served, and he sent to meet them. For the men were greatly ashamed. And the king said, Tarry at Jericho until your beards be grown, and then return. And then when the children of Ammon saw that they had made themselves odious to David, Hanun and his children of Ammon sent 1,000 talents of silver to hire them chariots and horsemen out of Mesopotamia, and out of Syria Makkah, and out of Zobah. So they hired 30 and 2,000 chariots. And the king of Makkah and his people, who came and pitched before Medeba. And at the children of Ammon gathered themselves together from their cities and came to battle. And when David heard of it, he sent Joab and all the hosts of the mighty men. And the children of Ammon came out and put the battle in array before the gate of the city, and the kings that were by themselves in the field. Now when Joab saw that the battle was set against him before and behind, he chose out all of the choice of Israel and put them in array against the Syrians. And the rest of the people he delivered unto the hand of Abishai, his brother, and they set themselves in array against the children of Ammon. And they said, If the Syrians be too strong for me, then thou shalt help me. But if the children of Ammon be too strong for thee, then I will help thee. Be of good courage, and let us behave ourselves valiantly for our people and for the cities of our God. And let the Lord do that which is good in his sight. So Joab and the people that were with him drew nigh before the Syrians unto the battle, and they fled before him. And when the children of Ammon saw that the Syrians were fled, they likewise fled before Abishai his brother, and entered into the city. Then Joab came to Jerusalem, and when the Syrians saw that they were put to the wars before Israel, they sent messengers, and they drew forth the Syrians that were beyond the river, and Shophach, the captain of the host of Hadarezer, went before them. And it was told David, and he gathered all Israel, and passed over Jordan, and came upon them, and sent the battle in array against them. So when David had put the battle in array against the Syrians, they fought with him. But the Syrians fled before Israel, and David slew of the Syrians 7,000 men, which fought in chariots, and 40,000 footmen, and killed Shophach, the captain of the host. And when the servants of Hadarezer saw that they were put to the worst before Israel, they made peace with David and became his servants. Neither were the Syrians held the children of Ammon any more. So quickly, let's just recap chapter 19. Basically, David went to Hanun, the son of Nahash, but the children of Ammon or Ammon rebuked them, so they went to war. The Ammonites and the Syrians went to war, and David's people had been victorious in this case. So there's that. And Syria turns away from Hadarezer, or whoever was the leader. Okay. Okay, so let's start with chapter 20. Joab and David take Rabbah, chapter 20. And it came to pass that after the year was expired, at the time that kings go to battle, Joab let forth the power of the army, and wasted the country of the children of Ammon, and came and besieged Rabbah. But David tarried at Jerusalem, and Joab smote Rabbah and destroyed it. And David took the crown of their king from off his head, and found it to weigh a talent of gold, and there were precious stones in it. And it was set upon David's head, and he brought also exceeding much spoil out of the city. And he brought out the people that were in it, and cut them with saws, and with harrows of iron, and with axes. Even so dealt David with all the cities of the children of Ammon. And David and all the people returned to Jerusalem. War with the Philistines. And it came to pass after this that there arose war at Gezer with the Philistines, at which time Sibbecai the Hushite slew Sippai, that was of the children of the giants, and they were subdued. And there was war again with the Philistines, and Elhanan, the son of Jair, slew Lami, the brother of Goliath the Gittite, whose spear staff was like a weaver's beam. And yet again there was war at Gath, where a man of great stature, whose fingers and toes were 24, 6 on each hand and 6 on each foot, and he was also the son of the giant. But when he defied Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother, slew him. These were born unto the giant in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. Okay. One last so Joab and David take Rabbah and war with the Philistines. So in the first part of chapter 20, basically Joab took away Rabbah from David and destroyed it. And then David took the crown of the king, and thus David and his people returned to Jerusalem. And then they have war with the Philistines again. And then a man of great stature was killed. And thus they fell to David's army. Alright, I'm going to take a break, folks. A break. Okay. I have returned. Let's go, folks. Let's finish up with chapter 21. David sins in numbering the people. And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. And David said to Joab and to the numbers of the people, "Go, number Israel from Beersheba even to Dan, and bring the number of them to me, then that I may know it." And Joab answered, "The Lord maketh his people 100 times so many more as they be. But my lord the king, are they not all my lord's servants? Why then doth my lord require this thing? Why will he be a cause of trespass to Israel?" Nevertheless, the king's word prevailed against Joab, wherefore Joab departed and went throughout all Israel, and came to Jerusalem. And Joab gave the sum of the number of the people unto David. And all they of Israel were 1,000 and 100,000 men that drew sword. And Judah was 460 and 10,000 men that drew sword. But Levi and Benjamin counted he not among them, for the king's word was abominable to Joab. And the God was displeased with this thing, therefore he smote Israel. And David said unto God, I have sinned greatly, because I have done this thing. But now I beseech thee, do away with the iniquity of thy servant, for I have done very foolishly. And the Lord spake unto Gad, David's seer, saying, Go and tell David, saying, Thus saith the Lord, I offer thee 3 things. Choose 3 of them, that I may do it unto thee. So Gad came to David and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, choose thee, either 3 years' famine, or 3 months to be destroyed before the foes, and while the sword of thine enemies overtaketh thee, or else 3 days the sword of the Lord, even the pestilence in the land, and the angel of the Lord destroying throughout all the coast of Israel. Now therefore advise thyself to what word I shall bring again to him that sent me. And David said unto Gad, I am in a great strait. Let me fall now into the hand of the Lord, for very great are his mercies. But let me not fall into the hand of man. So the Lord sent pestilence upon Israel, and there fell of Israel 70,000 men. God sent an angel unto Jerusalem to destroy it, and as he was destroying, the Lord beheld, and he repented him of the evil, and said to the angel that destroyed, It is enough, stay now thine hand. And the angel of the Lord stood by the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. And David lifted up his eyes and saw the angel of the Lord standing between the earth and heaven, having a drawn sword in his hand, stretched out over Jerusalem. Then David and the elders of Israel, who were clothed in sackcloth, fell upon their faces. And David said unto God, Is it not that I commanded the people to be numbered? Even I it is that have sinned and done evil indeed. But as for these sheep, what have they done? Let thine hand, I pray thee, O Lord, my God, be on me and on my father's house, but not on thy people, that they should be plagued. Okay, quickly I'm going to summarize this part. Basically, David numbers the people and doesn't believe Joab, and therefore the Lord has sent a curse, or not a curse, but an evil plague against Israel. And when that plague goes on, people die, and eventually God stops, and David's like, okay, punish me however you want, but don't punish these innocent peoples, for they have done nothing. Okay, David buys Ornan's threshing floor. Then the angel of the Lord commanded Gad to say to David that David should go up and set up an altar unto the Lord in the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. And David went up at the saying of Gad, that which he spake in the name of the Lord. And Ornan turned back and saw the angel and his 4 sons with him hid themselves. Now Ornan was the threshing wheat. And as David came to Ornan, Ornan looked and saw David, and went out of the threshing floor, and bowed himself to David with his face to the ground. Then David said to Ornan, Grant me the place of this threshing floor, that I may build an altar therein unto the Lord. Thou shalt grant it me for the full price, that the plague may be stayed from the people. And Ornan said unto David, Take it to thee, and let my lord the king do that which is good in his eyes. Lo, I give thee the oxen also for burnt offerings, and the threshing instruments for wood, and the wheat for the meat offering. I give it all. And the king David said to Ornan, Nay, but I will verily buy it for the full price, for I will not take that which is thine for the Lord, nor offer burnt offerings without cost. So David gave to Ornan for the place 600 shekels of gold by weight. And David there built an altar unto the Lord, and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings, and called upon the Lord. And he answered him from the heaven by fire upon the altar of burnt offering. And the Lord commanded the angel, and he put up his sword again into the sheath thereof. At the time when David saw that the Lord had answered him in the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite, then he sacrificed there. And for the tabernacle of the Lord, which Moses made in the wilderness, and the altar of the burnt offering, were at that season in the high place at Gibeon. But David could not go before it to inquire of God, for he was afraid because of the sword of the angel of the Lord. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Willie, God bless you. Welcome in. Oh, baby. I was watching that game, and I was like, surely the Avalanche is going to take this, maybe make it a 3 or 4-0 with 2 empty nethers. And then we score. And I'm like, oh, awesome. Awesome. Finally we score. And then we score again, and we're like, okay, even if we lose, I even said this myself to the Lord. Okay, even if we lose, at least I'll rejoice in the fact that you gave me hope. And then, while Johnson was scoring the power play goal to make it 3-2, I was locked up in the garage taking care of the laundry, and then suddenly I saw, oh my goodness, they scored. And then Mikko Rantanen with that empty netter. Truly, I say to you, MVP of the game. Round of applause for the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche. I would be lying if I said the Avalanche didn't deserve to move on. They were more physical, more speed, faster, I mean to say. Um, they were busting their butts and balls out performance. Like, every single time I saw the Avalanche, it was like physical hits, fast skating, and overall great discipline. But the resiliency that the Stars had, even if it looked like they were hanging on by a shoestring instead of nuts and bolts, it looked amazing to see the Stars withstand the test of time. There were two games, two Stars wins where I saw we were down at first, and then that one last bit of hope enters, and suddenly we carried it into overtime, and we win at the least expected moment. That happened twice, 2 consecutive games. Great series, great overall series, and I think this will be in a national recording registry of the Library of Congress. That's how impressive it was. Mikko Rantanen, former Avalanche. Matt Duchene, former Avalanche, I believe. Man. I think Val Nichushkin was also a Dallas Star at one point. I think he was a Star right before they switched to their current uniforms. Back when they still had the college style format. The word marked Dallas and then the number on the chest. I'm not sure if you remember that, Willie, but that's what they had. That's what they used to have as their uniforms. So yeah, that was exciting and lots of fun and suspenseful. And it'll be down in the books, like not even joking, as one of the greatest sports moments in American sports moments in history. That, and I'm not saying that it's Freddie Freeman's walk-off grand slam, but in its own way, it's also very not too far behind, actually. Yeah, it was a great series. We shouldn't have traded Mikko. Yeah, I think if I heard correctly on Wikipedia, Mikko Rantanen was not committed to, well, at least to the Carolina Hurricanes, so they traded him to the Stars. And then I found out for some reason the Avalanche were not willing to pay him and got traded to the Hurricanes and then to the Stars. Boy, Miro Heiskanen and Jason Robertson, they're probably going to come back. Time will tell, but they might come back. But even if we lose them, we still got Mikko Rantanen, who's proving himself, and he stepped up big. And I knew Mikko Rantanen from the get-go. I think it was during the 2021 Stanley Cup run, or 22, sorry, 21-22 season when the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup. Yeah, 22 was the win. Because 23 was the Golden Knights and 24 was the Panthers. And it was crazy, man. Real crazy. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm going to quickly summarize this section of chapter 21. We had David numbering his people, and God sent him pestilence among his people for his sin. And then David buys Ornan's threshing floor, and he builds a place of burnt offerings and peace offerings for the Lord. And that is it. The Avalanche offered him the same contract he signed with the Stars. For real. Let's see how much the Avalanche... I saw this on Wikipedia when I was looking at Mikko Rantanen. Because I'm like, wait, we got Mikko Rantanen on the Stars? Wasn't he once on the Avalanche? And then I didn't notice, but he was on the Hurricanes too. I may have seen it at one point. Okay, here we go. On January 24th, 2025, Rantanen was traded to the Hurricanes for Jack Drury, Martin H's, a 2025 round pick and a 2026 fourth round pick, and a 3-team deal with the Chicago Blackhawks. That also saw Taylor Hall being traded to Carolina. Chicago, okay. This trade was called a blockbuster by sports analysts, where many commentated that the deal was a shock and the largest in-season trade since Joe Thornton was traded in 2005 from the Boston Bruins to the San Jose Sharks. The Avalanche and Rantanen's stalemate regarding contract extension was cited as the main driver behind the trade, with commentators noting the team was seeking to receive assets for a player they were unlikely to resign rather than lose Rantanen to another team in free agency without compensation. At the time of the trade, Rantanen led Colorado with 25 goals and was 6th in league-wide scoring with 64 points. After the trade, the Hurricanes... Okay, I don't know what happened with the Avalanche, but... I don't know. Something... They were just far apart for one reason or another. And then you said they offered him the same contract he signed with the Stars. That's weird. I guess either he didn't like Colorado or Mikko was just looking to get more money or something. I really don't know. But either way, he's a special kid. Or a special dude. And it's going to be awesome to have him on this team for this playoffs and for the rest of his run with us. I'm not sure how long he's going to stay with us, but I'm hoping that we can make it a worthwhile for him. Okay, that was a great game, folks. It really was. Any last words, folks? Because otherwise, I'm going to bed. By the way, Martin Natchez, I saw him he got injured. He he ran into the boards on that penalty that gave the Stars a power play and ended up giving them the game-winning goal. That was insane. Um, he wasn't the guy that got the penalty or stuff. What happened is, I think there was a holding penalty completely separate from Nature's injury. Nature's ran into the boards by himself and he got hurt and unfortunately was injured or injured himself. I'm hoping he's all right. I can never play in sports because sorry, because I'd be worried about, you know, oh my goodness, I'd probably be, you know, you ever have those moments where you step on the side of your ankle and then you're like, and then you're hopping on one leg because one side hurts so badly. Yeah. That's what I'd probably be doing whenever I skate. Oh yeah, he was holding his wrist. It was Makar tripping. Oh, yeah. Cale Makar went to the penalty box and at the same time, Martin Natchez was heading off due to crashing into boards. I hope he's all right. Yeah, crazy indeed. Dallas Stars. I think the Abs have learned a valuable lesson tonight. Yeah. What I would say to them is just keep your foot on the gas pedal, because even a team that like the Dallas Stars that hasn't been there all game up until that point, they have the ability to come back, and they proved that tonight. And that's something that their next opponent has to watch out for. And I, I, I really don't know what to say. The Avalanche played a very good game. First two periods were perfect off the bone plays, or yeah, off the bone game. You know, kind of like whenever you slow cook meat and it's so juicy and tender that it falls off the bone. That's amazing. But unfortunately, uh, even though they got a goal early on, they couldn't keep the puck in the star zone enough to prevent this from happening. But at the same time, the Stars just have this chip on their shoulder, which might be hard to locate. But if you let them score, it's going to show up real big. But I'd definitely be lying if I said the Avalanche didn't deserve to move on. Because, in my opinion, they played well enough to deserve that win. But unfortunately, not very good to give up uh, 3 goals. I keep getting bumblebees in my bedroom. Bumblebees? Oh my goodness, Mike. I should sell them. God bless you, Mike, first of all. Second of all, bumblebees. Like, bumblebees, the insect? Or, yeah. Because if you're trying to sell bumblebees, then I'm not sure. Like, they don't produce honey, but I guess if you wanted to pollinate flowers, then you could buy them. Probably the queen bumblebee. Yeah, the queen bumblebee does hold uh, not just the queen, but also, or not just the bumblebee, but the queen and the honeybee as well. The queen is the most valuable and reproduces. They grow colonies. Yeah, that's true. If we block that wraparound goal, we easily win. Man, Mikko Rantanen was. Were they still on that power play after the 4-on-4 when they scored that? I think they were. But either way, that was crazy. It's not very common that you see a wraparound goal, at least right now, wraparound goal being made. Man. By the way, Mike, I forgot to say this, but congratulations to your Edmonton Oilers. Chris Knobloch and who's in that for the Calvin Pickard or Picard or uh, however you pronounce his name. Pickard. He gets the job done. Connor McDavid gets another chance to prove himself Stanley Cup worthy. And yeah, we'll see how it goes with this NHL playoffs. Big Al, God bless you. Welcome in. How's it going, my friend? By the way, Mitch, he requested a potential logo for something. I won't say much what it is, but for many people, and one of his main niches that he covers in his channel, the Bottom Line View, if he goes on with this project that he might make, I think that fans are going to love it, and it's going to be one of the most popular channels that he puts on. But we'll see. Okay. Man, that NHL game might be one of the best games I've ever seen. It was. It's almost the same energy that happened during 2008 when Brendan Morrow scored against the San Jose Sharks. It was epic and an absolute memory. Mikko Rantanen, amazing kid. So what happened in the Stanley Cup playoffs? Well, let me tell you, the Dallas Stars had one of the most incredible comebacks I've ever seen. The Avalanche were up 1-0 through 2 periods. Well, they scored in the second period on a shorthanded goal. And then they scored to open up the third period during the first minute of the third. And then Mikko Rantanen turns up the dial and notes 2 goals. One of them a wraparound that went off of Gerard's skate. Then another power play goal by Tyler Johnson. Follow that up with a late, almost end of the game hat trick by Mikko Rantanen. And that kid stepped up big time. And he was able to fill in the hole that was left with Jason Robertson and Miro Heiskanen. I'm not sure who specifically, but let's just say both just for the sake. It's probably just one of the players, but Mikko Rantanen fulfilled the role. Oh, and Thomas Harley. Thomas Harley, another outstanding player throughout this series. We can't forget what he had going. What else? How's it going, Christian? God bless you. I have something to announce to you, and you're gonna love this. Okay, first of all, the Dallas Stars have made it to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Off an incredible comeback. It was televised nationwide on ABC. It was not on ESPN. I think there was some UFC or some kind of wrestling going on. I've been super busy and haven't thought I'd be here in a while. Yeah, I've been trying to get some early streams just to, get some sleep in. So, yeah, but I figured, I gotta stream now. I was going to stream earlier, but laziness got the best of me. I just have to admit it right now. But that game was nuts. Second of all, guess where I went? Guess where I went on Monday, I think. Yeah, Monday. I'll give you a hint. It's a place you've mentioned here and there a couple of times over these streams. I saw that you were streaming during the day the other day, but sadly couldn't join in. I was at the office. Ah, well, you gotta do what you gotta do. If work calls, then you gotta fulfill it. Was it Golden Corral? Well, Golden Corral I've been multiple times throughout my life, so it's comfort food, but it's another restaurant that you've highly regarded. Grandy's. Bingo. Yep. I went to Grandy's. Got myself a country fried steak dinner. It was just a fried steak, breaded, kind of like a schnitzel or a milanesa, as they have it in Latin America. What else? Mashed potatoes, I think. Yeah, mashed potatoes. And then what else? Green beans. It was nicely breaded, nice flavorful bite. Green beans were perfectly cooked. And you know, mashed potatoes is always going to be a W. Love it. I'm jealous now, lol. Grandy's hasn't been here in over 20 years. We miss them here in Houston. Yeah. So after trying that country fried steak dinner, what would that be your top choice, or is there something else that you think I should order? I'm presently working on a reissue of the Tampa Bay radio market. I want to get those videos out in the next couple of weeks. Awesome. Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on in Tampa Bay, or Tampa. Uh, by the way, we know it's called Tampa, Florida, but the team names are always Tampa Bay. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know, but it's kind of weird. Country fried steak is my top choice. I don't remember much about the other stuff they had. I think they had some shrimp there, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe some chicken. I don't know why, but I think that they could serve burgers is there. I imagine they'd serve burgers. Obviously, it was my first ever time there, so I couldn't, tell you exactly. By the way, I was going to stream from there to surprise you, but unfortunately, they didn't have any Wi Fi, and I couldn't use my phone. I was here with my laptop and with my Bible, ready to read and set up the stream, but the people tell me that they don't have any Wi-Fi. Oh well. Yeah. It was awesome though. Whereas we try other cuisines like Italian, Indian, Mexican for their various flavors. American food, like country fried steak or what else? Pie, Cobb salad, perhaps. Well, maybe not so much Cobb salad. I think American cuisine, true homegrown American cuisine, is more about comfort food than anything else. At least that's what I gather from it. You could say the same about Italian food, like pasta or tacos from Mexico. But in the end, I think that If there's one cuisine that encompasses comfort food, that would be American. And I might be biased just because that's what we have here the most, but that's my impression. Okay. Honestly speaking, if you were able to stream there, there's probably a good chance I was probably at work where I could join. Um, I think I was streaming at around 12. Would you say at 12 on Monday? That was when I went to Granny's. Or that was, excuse me, when I was planning to stream. Not when I was streaming, but planning to stream. But I was at Grandy's. And it was amazing. At 12 on Monday, I was in the office working. Okay. That's fair to say. How's work, by the way? Getting lots of websites. The only time I got to go to that particular Grandy's was in my novel with Chrissy. LOL. Man. Last week, man, I've been getting bombarded with exams. First, I got the calculus exam, which I studied the most on. I'll admit that I studied up until that exam. I studied exclusively on calculus. I'm too scared to look at my grade, so I'm not going to say what my grade is. So, and then after that, I studied on chemistry, which was much easier. But yeah, work has kept me extremely busy, and some of the websites are labor intensive. Well, what I did when I was off and in my free time, I was, fixing some of the overlays on my OBS. I'm truly exhausted, and that is something I wanted to talk to you about if I can. Same for me on Thursday. I was like mentally drained. Like, not like the same way that I was last Sunday, the Sunday before this one. But it was like, like metaphorically getting back home after a war. That was sort of that kind of feeling. Thursday trained me out because I had to go to Brookshire again, and this website has been a stress nightmare. Man. I imagine that there's lots of things that you have to take into consideration. Not only the format, but also the colors and the design, and also the memory, because depending on the browser, you could have lots of RAM being used, especially if you're on Google Chrome. Oh, speaking of memory, of RAM, this thing called OBS, that's my streaming software. Let me just, sorry, I muted myself. Let me just show you. Oh my goodness. Muted myself again. Yeah, you can discuss it if you want. Right now, I'm FO gathering the AM stations in Tampa Bay, Sarasota, Bradenton, and Lakeland. AM AM you can hear from a distance. Unfortunately, it's in mono, but it is the best. What happened with OBS? Um, just a few moments ago, I saw that the CPU usage was at 36. I'm not even joking. 36. 36% CPU. And I can't lie. I tried to do members only stream, but instead my computer froze and Google Chrome froze, and yeah. I want to start a GoFundMe to fund a gaming PC, not only for myself but also for Adam, so we can do much more on those PCs. Unfortunately, though, gaming PCs can range anywhere from $1,000 to 2,000 or 3,000, much higher prices than that. But I do want to get me a gaming PC, and him, Adam, gaming PC. Anyways, I was gonna say to you, our friend Jerry from Adam's channel, Team S.O.S, he's been experiencing a big moment in his life, and let's keep him in mind whenever we pray. He's been going through a breakup, and trying to encourage him to, you know, try to accept the fact that they're no longer together. Not necessarily like forget about her, but try to embrace the loneliness. Because no matter what, God will be with him, and his love for him transcends all other love. I'm using a gaming PC right now because I need it for my work. Yeah. I don't know how it will work for website building on a laptop, but I imagine there would be moments that your computer would be frozen if it was a laptop. I use an HP, which is much faster than Dell. I bought a Dell PC, and it's sluggish. And apart from that, the trackpad is sometimes unresponsive, and I gotta get it unstuck. It definitely is. I look mainly large radio markets. Let's see. What else? What else would be large? Philadelphia radio markets, perhaps, could be next. Hatsune Miku, God bless you. Welcome in, and thank you for stopping by. Dell has a track record for being horrid, and HP outpaces them by a country mile. It's sad because Dell is from Austin, Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Round Rock, they're headquartered in. They were formed in, let's see, 1984 in Austin, Texas, yes. Oh! Today they May 3rd, 1984. So now they're 41 years old exactly today. I kind of felt the same way as Jerry does. Going to the office and being there by myself has been kind of depressing. And as I wrote my novel, it made me miss Chrissy. I want to see Chrissy again, but only to reconnect as friends. I know she is married. I came across a picture of her with her husband, and it kind of stunned when I saw it. Yeah. Jerry, she saw a girl, and you could tell right away he's very emotionally attached to her. He's very emotionally attached to her, or at least she was. Now she's trying to overcome the pain of losing her. Because let me tell you, um, there were moments that she needed to step away and do some stuff, and she said she's not mentally in it. And then she'd come back, and they'd come back and have a great time, but eventually got to a point where she wasn't responding to his messages, and eventually Jerry decided, I'm done. I'm just gonna leave her some time, and if this doesn't work out, I'll pull the trigger. And wouldn't you know it, on Thursday, it was all done with. I'm starting to realize that I need a special someone in my life. Being alone at the office makes me want to meet someone special. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told Jerry. Maybe God is preparing someone special for you, but you can't see it yet because they haven't met you yet. Or maybe in this life, we're just not meant to see anyone or to be with anyone. But at the same time, I I don't think I told Jerry this, but the Lord's love is much stronger than any other love that we have. Sorry, sorry, Big Al. There are many sites that make this possible. I use Wikipedia to write out the station list, of course. That's a great source. Google Maps and radiolocator.com for studio and transmitter locations. Right. Please keep all these things in mind for prayer. I really need some help. My life needs transportation. Father, after we are finished with this stream, and when we pray, I pray that you'll allow Christian's troubles and Jerry's troubles to be heard and kept in mind in these prayers that we offer you. And then from there, I write down information on every station in the market, including format, station history, FCC licenses, station ownership, and more. Hey, we need a guy that's dedicated to radio stations as Big Al. Because sometimes uh, we have no history on 98.7 Jack FM. The only thing that we know is that it was known as K Texan and Texas Radio 98.7 at one point. And then, man, lots of other things that we don't know about of. And it was first licensed in 1965, and that was the 1992 one. And then in 1981, it turned into 98.7. So yeah, Wikipedia organizes radio stations by market very well. Yeah, I just wish that they had people who were on the ball with these radio stations, investigating them the same way Big Al does. So high five for you, Big Al. And TV stations too, exactly. Okay, let's go up to your novel and let's see. Let's go to Google Drive and I'm not going to show it, obviously, but I will download it. Yeah, sometimes the OCD, you know what? Here's what I'll do instead. I'm going to bookmark this. And I'll bookmark this so I'll keep track of it. And, for it to be much easier to access. And then I'll download this one. Oh, no, I'm not going to print it. I just want to have it there. Okay. Anyways, as I was saying, Dell turns 40 years today. They were founded on May 3rd, 1984, in Austin, Texas, in a dormitory at the Dolby Center. of the University of Texas Austin, UT Austin. The Google Drive link always updates whenever a revision is made. Yeah, that's why I bookmarked it. It comes in handy. Yeah, happy birthday to Dell. I only wish that they, hiccups. Oh! Gonna have to get some water soon. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna get it right now. I keep. Bingo. Alienware. Yeah. If I were to get a gaming PC, Alienware would be my first choice to look at. Did you know that Austin's oldest radio station actually began in San Antonio? Radio station. I did not know that, but I do know that Austin's PBS station, they began in San Antonio. Technically, you see, San Antonio and Austin had KLRN, which started. Let me see. It started in 1962, and then, and up until the 80s, they served Austin as well. And then they created KLRU for Austin. And then eventually in 1988 or so, they split off amongst their own. So KLRN is San Antonio, KLRU Austin. So yeah, very indeed station. But as far as radio stations, I did not know that. PBS stations, though, yes. So I can believe what you're saying, Big Al. I just didn't know that it was also a radio station. Who knew many of Clear Channel's spin-offs from their merger with AM/FM would eventually reunite with each other under Urban One in 2023. I'm talking about when Urban One acquired Cox Houston. Clear Channel sold KLDE, KTHC, and KKBQ to Cox as part of that merger, and KMJQ and KVXX to Urban One in 2000. Then 2 decades later, Urban One acquires Cox Houston stations. That's crazy. It's kind of like, I don't know. I want to think. I don't know if this would be a good comparison, but kind of like when Viacom split into Viacom Incorporated and into CBS Corporation, and then they would become Viacom CBS, and now they're Paramount Global. God bless you, Savina. How's it going? Thank you for joining. 1490 KJFK. I assume that's John F. Kennedy. Thank you. Thank you, Savina, for subscribing. And thank you, Missy and Paul, too, for subscribing. KJFK in Austin signed on in 1926. Ooh, that's a long time. They're almost 100. On 1500 in San Antonio. Then the station moved to Austin in 1929 and went to 1490 in 1941. Man, that is insane. Thank you, Sabina. I appreciate your kind words. And thanks for stopping by. Viacom and CBS were never truly separate since National Amusements owned both of them. The original Viacom became CBS Corporation, who spun off the new Viacom. Yeah, I was just that's the closest example that I had. That's the new Jack FM station in Austin. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Savina. I had a pair of clear glasses, and in fact, I still have them. But one of the arms or one of the parts here is detached, so yeah. I forgot. When I was reading that station, it said oldest station in Austin and founded in 1926, I think. And it was recently introduced with Jack FM. And then the new Viacom station was dissolved once CBS Corporation reacquired it in 2019, resulting in CBS Corporation becoming Viacom CBS, now Paramount Global. Now Paramount Global will be soon merging with Skydance. There might be a new logo, but that's only because, you know, there's a new company in the mix. And here's one concept that's been going around in the internet. This one. But honestly, the script cannot really replace or the script cannot be replaced. That's what I meant to say. Upon moving to Austin, the station briefly identified as KUT until 1932. Yeah. I think that's UT Austin. Wow. Wow indeed. That new logo was introduced in a shareholder meeting. It is most likely to be the new corporate logo. It could be that. Or, you know what? It could also be an on-screen logo as well. I'm not too sure. But it does look good for what it is worth, but that familiar logo we grew up with, I don't think it could ever be replaced, but we'll see. Oh goodness, 11:55 p.m. already. The merger will mark the end of the original Viacom, which itself was spun off from CBS in 1971. Let's face it, those two were meant for each other. LOL. How many times can two companies keep splitting? Yeah, exactly. They were meant to be. Anyways, the way they took on the logo Skydance remained, but retained Paramount's logo is very similar to what Six Flags and Cedar Fair did when they merged. Yeah, I haven't been to Six Flags in years. I only been there once, and I did enjoy it to be honest, but I probably go there myself. Savina said hi. Oh, I thought it was like like one of those like a potato masher. It's just a pair. It's just a hand. I thought it was like a potato masher. Amen. Amen indeed. This just makes me so happy. And Cedar Fair merged with Six Flags and rebranded as Six Flags, but with the words Six Flags in the Cedar Fair logo font. Yeah. Trying to think of what other companies may have done this. Oh, United Airlines. They merged with Continental Airlines. I think that's what they were called. And they assumed that logo with the glove. That's what Paramount and Skydance are doing with their new logo. Yep. Yay, a book. Yeah, I I push myself each time to read at least around 3 pages of scripture on a normal day. But if not, I try to read as much as I can until midnight, until just before midnight. So there's that. This, yeah, if we look at Continental Airlines, which operated from 1934 to 2012 and then merged with United, this is what their old livery looked like. And this is what United's looks like. And Continental, United. So yeah. I'm not sure how long it took for me to realize it, but that's what happened. What the heck is this? I'm sorry I have to go, but I'll watch your video tomorrow. Oh, no worries. Sleep deep, rise and shine bright, and go in peace, and seek the love of the Lord. And thank you so much for joining in. And yeah, do check out my other content. Here's what I got. Take care, Sabina. A stupid, spammy looking, suspicious thing. And yes, that's what I've got in my email. Your subscription will be closed. Everything about this seems like something you see out of your nightmares. It kind of gives me like the creeps. Like if there was a serial killer anywhere and he showed me this before I was shot to death, this would be the scariest way to go out. I'm not even joking. That is very creepy. I'm gonna delete it, and actually, let me undo this and report it as spam. I don't know, or should I call it phishing? I'm not too sure. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, I had to sign off on that, and auf Wiedersehen. Honestly, I think companies only do that because they are too lazy to rebrand a new logo, lol. United wanted to use Continental's globe because it was easy to just change the name next to it. And I gotta say, I like this new iteration of the logo. Like, it might not look the sexiest logo transition, at least, but for me, it works well. And it looks pretty stylistic. Again, if you disagree, don't worry, because I can see why. But personally, for me, I like it. And as far as for Hill Country Fair's logo, as we discussed the other day, the new logo is a downgrade. Newer logo is a downgrade with no character. Yeah, it feels like something you'd find in 2005 and up until 2013 or something. It feels dated. It like even like one of those minimalistic logos would reflect times better than that. Like, don't get me wrong, that logo for its time was okay. Not the best, but it was okay. But now you have to replace it. Uh, it's about as creepy as seeing this TV station sign off for the last time before going off the air. Yeah, I could see that as creepy. Or, whenever you see a kernel panic, let me show you a kernel panic. Like seeing these various creepy numbers. Oh, it's spooky. In my opinion, seeing the Linux kernel panic, let me see if I could find the style. Something like this would be more creepy. But there's another version that I find more creepier. Something like this. Yeah. Pure nightmare fuel. No, it doesn't look bad. I think it looks great. I just feel companies don't like to bother too much with rebranding due to cost involved. Yeah, everything costs so much. That's what companies say. That's their card they use. Even TechStop, that's what they say whenever they have to delay a project. The cost of materials and labor has risen over the years, and we can't, it's out of our budget and stuff. The first Hill Country Fair logo dates back to the 90s and probably even further back. I think it was. Let me see if I could find the Hill Country Fair logo again. The trademark filing. Okay, so filing date 1993. Right there. Filing date 1993. Status 710 canceled. Section 8. Registration date 1998 4/14, which is April 14. Published for opposite. Okay, that doesn't matter. And we have this as well. First use anywhere date 1997. For use in commerce date 1997. First use in anywhere 1993. 94, 94. Okay, I guess it just applies to a certain amount. Okay, so trademarked in 1993, based on what I can see. So yeah, it dates back to 1993 at the earliest, which sounds like a fantastic date for that logo. Those kernel panics and blue screens of death do scare me because they make me think that my computer might be dead. Yeah. You know what scares me as well? One of my old Dell PCs, when it died, it said, "Your computer hard drive is dead. Uh, hard drive dead, Dell screen." And it made an absolutely horrible sound. And it was so awful. I was like, ah! Yep. Something like that is what I saw. I remember it being something along those lines. HEB pretty much considers the Hill Country Fair as a dinosaur, as most of their products use HEB brand instead. Yeah, I do love me some Hill Country Fair though. But HEB, it's still, uh, it still makes me feel comfortable, but Hill Country Fair is a much more childhood nostalgia for me. I love watching old stations. Uh, Sus to the man, God bless you. How's it going? I'll watch 42 short in just a moment. Let me just dig through this comments. I love watching old YouTube videos of TV and radio stations signing off and on the air. Yeah, there was a radio, sorry, not radio, but TV station from NBC signing off with the old NBC News jingle from the 70s, I think, and it was touching. Same here, and old videos of commercials from back in the day. One commercial I do remember from back in my days was like those Danimals Crush, where you crush the cup of yogurt and just lick it up. It was pure nostalgia. And Capri Sun, where somebody tried to inflate a Capri Sun pouch and then step on it and they turned into a balloon. And I was like, hey, I want to turn into a balloon. But here I am, 22 years of age, and many ages later. It was supposed to be a respect pouch, like, do not pollute message. Turning a balloon was a bad thing, not a good thing, as I thought it was. Those beeping codes are nightmare fuel. Yeah, something tells me that if may the Lord forbid me from going to hell, but if I went to hell, that's probably what I would see. Kernel panics and horrible beeping and these creepy, I almost said the word, but creepy spam or scammy emails. Yes, they are. Well, yep, sus to the man. Tell 42 that I'm sorry for his avalanche. They played very well. They deserve to move on. But I hope maybe next year they could move on to the next round. But they have a special player, Nathan McKinnon, and their effort was relentless. And I have to give credit where it's due. Long live Hill Country Fair. I grew up seeing their first logo, and I'm glad to know that they still use it to a certain capacity. Yeah, I'm not too sure if the photo I posted, it was already there for a while, or did they actually just reintroduce it? I'm not too sure. Now thinking of it, it's probably been there for quite a while and hasn't been removed. But if it's actually a new packaging, then hallelujah for it being there. And I think they should bring it back. And I remember when I provided feedback to HEB when I was like, hey, you should return the Hill Country Fair logo that you had previously. And I'm glad that they're using it for that thing. And they have another thing that they use it for, but I can't remember what it was. Yeah, Hill Country Fair's yogurts were fire. Yeah. Right now the type of yogurt that I eat nowadays is what do you call it? Greek yogurt. And it was something new, and I love it. I love to eat it with some honey. Crazy amazing. Here's the sign off for the WV network. Whenever, also pin this one if y'all like. They made their transition to the CW back in 2006. Let's watch it, shall we? You brought us into your homes. Okay, Russell, Scott Foley, Sarah, Carissa Carpenter, David, Sarah Geller. We made you smile. Jamie Kennedy, Wyans Brothers, Reba McEntire, and tugged at your hearts. Michelle Williams, Emily Van Camp, and Alyssa Milano. Treat Williams, Melissa Joan Hart, or Joan Hart. Joan Hart. And now we say goodbye. Nikki Cox, Amanda Pete, and Ivan Sergey. And the WB, Jamie Foxx. From all of us at the WB, thank you. And there's that frog. Rest in peace. Indeed. Kmart has a store brand called American Fare, which is the counterpart to Walmart's Great Value brand. And as soon as that video ended, the WB network officially died. Yeah. You know what? I think that there should be like a TBS. They had a super station called WTBS, and I think that they should return to some, like, not that, but they should do it like ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox, which have affiliate stations. And TBS should introduce some affiliate stations of their own. Just like, yeah. UPN had no fanfare. Wow. That was cold from sorry, not W, but UPN. They're very cold for doing that. Mr. Shea, God bless you. Welcome in. Big Al Williams. I was about to say that. They just went dark, and then all their affiliates went independent. Yep. That was a cold way for them to end their broadcast. Mr. Shea, God bless you. The UPN affiliates owned by Fox News Corp didn't want to go into limbo once UPN shut down, so they formed My Network TV to fill in that void for their own stations. Was good. Awesome to hear. And yeah, that's where you got My 27 in Dallas and My 20 in Houston. Now it's known as My 20 Vision here. And now they got more 27 on KDFI, which used to be My 27. It's 12:15 a.m. Yes, it is right there. Well, now it's 12:16, but you know, right on the spot. My 20 Vision shares studios with Fox 26 KRIV, or Crib as I call it, in Houston. Yep, I can see it on Wikipedia right there. Owned and operated by Fox Television Studios alongside Fox's, yes, Fox 26. I remember when they used to broadcast some of the Astros games there. KCWX Channel 2 is the My Network TV station in San Antonio. Right, I need to check out that playlist. Can you paste a link here, please? At night or morning? It's past midnight, Mr. Shea. KCWX. Ah, Fredericksburg, San Antonio, Texas. Funny enough, Fredericksburg is a place where if you go to the Texan, you'll find plenty of products from Fredericksburg, Texas. One of their famous signature fragrances for their soaps, their hand cream, their hand lotion, and their soaps, I think that would be Bluebonnet. And that's not just Bluebonnet, but there's also, I think Peach is one of them. I'm not too sure. Rosemary is one of them. And I think there's some kind of mint as well. I remember four of them. I remember that there were four. I'm not sure exactly what was at the Texan, but there was a decent selection, and there was also pickles, salsa, and other or jarred foods there, which looked pretty amazing from what I could see. The Art of Institute of Houston, where I went to college, is right across the freeway from the Fox 26 station. Oh, wow. Yeah. And that's where you'd see your news there, and that's where they set up and give you the weather. Thanks, man. I'm ready to subscribe to you. Not sure why my LinkedIn turned blue. Well, it did. It did on my end. Or, Big Al, my pleasure. Can you please sub to my company channel? There it is. Strange. Another thing is that on vertical streams, it's kind of weird because, especially if you stream on your phone, the links are just white. But this time it turned blue from my end. That's what I'll say. But it's weird what happens to these things. It's one of the 2 San Antonio stations licensing communities in the Austin media market. Hold on just a moment. I'll be right back. No. Okay, I'm back. I am backy. As for the CW, as the CW was about to put UPN 20 in Houston in limbo, Houston's WB39 became the CW39 nice and early, and UPN 20 didn't immediately convert to My 20 because News Corp didn't form it yet. By the time that CW was announced, News Corp didn't have a game plan for their UPN affiliate, so they just dropped the network before it shut down. Yikes. This angered a lot of UPN viewers because they couldn't finish watching their show's finales. Well, it's a good thing that I'm not a TV show series connoisseur. I wasn't raised watching CSI or NCIS or Breaking Bad was a thing back then, but I don't know, a lot of things there. News Corp was scrambling, trying to find out what they were going to do with their former UPN affiliates. Then they decided to form My Network TV. But between the two networks, they were independent. Yeah. You know what? If TBS ever decides to do affiliate stations, maybe they should look into buying a Houston TV station. The reason I say this is because they hold the rights to the NHL, although it's on TNT, but TNT and TBS are same thing essentially. But I like to do either one of them, TNT or TBS, so that I could watch locally the games and not have to worry about them not being on local TV. Like, we had NBC broadcast NHL up until 2021, and then they ended their contract and it went on to ESPN/ABC and TNT. So yeah, just wanted to, everyone get locally every single time their NHL. News Corp. All right, this resulted in KTXH becoming My 20, now My 20 Vision. They basically had no branding or affiliate network in between being UPN and MyTV. Yep, that would make sense. TNT and TBS carry these games over the cable, but without cable, the folks would like to watch these games over the air for free. Back in the day, UPN 20 carried the Rockies and the Astros games. These days, Space City Home Network is the exclusive home for both of them. And sadly, I don't think they have a dedicated streaming service. The Rockets and, I don't know. I think that's where I've heard it. Oh, the Diamondbacks. Okay. Diamondbacks are one of those teams that only are seen locally on a cable-only channel. Interesting. Rockets and Astros both co-own Space City Home Network, acquiring from Warner Brothers Discovery when it was AT&T Sportsnet Houston. Right. I don't know, I just wish that they could work out something. The days of watching local sports on local networks are sadly long over. There's too much money involved in cable networks, and their owners want a slice of that pie. Yep, it's awful. There's a thing that, back in the day when I was watching the Dallas Stars, they had a FSN Southwest, which changed to Fox Sports Southwest, and then My 27 KDFI used to broadcast some of those stations. That's regional sports networks. I'm talking about like nationally televised on local networks, like not just on. You see, the difference between RSN is that it's just one team, and what I want is that there be like nationally televised games always on the air local, or at least majority. But the playoffs, I would want there to be some nationally televised games from TNT over the air. The Chicago Sports Network is a regional sports network that airs the White Sox, Bulls, and the Blackhawks. They used to be NBC Sports Chicago or something. Fox 26 used to carry Astros games not that long ago. Yep. Now it's just them relying on their national feed for the main national broadcasts to carry that as one of their games of the week. I remember when the Cubs games were shown on WGN when they were a superstation. Yeah. What are they called now? News station or something? I'm not sure what they called, but I think they changed their name a while ago. As a kid, I remember watching the WGN Superstation for Bozo the Clown. Nostalgia unlocked. Memories indeed. Cubs are seen on Marquee Sports Network. Yeah. I remember one time I was looking at the Cubs and the Pirates had a mishap. They were trying to tag this guy out, but instead they didn't get it out and they couldn't tag them out. And he ran for double, and it was hilarious. WGN Superstation rebranded as WGN America, which converted from a superstation to a cable network in 2014. Then they became news station in 2021. Rest in peace, WGN. Yeah, news station. That's the name. I think WGN broadcasts Chicago Blackhawks games as well. Only select few. A clowny incident was rumored to happen in a WGN Bozo the Clown episode from the late 60s. Grab it, clowny! So that's where Crown Clowny was airing. Well, not only that station, but a bunch of other stations, but... Bozo the Clown. When WGN converted their national feed into a mainstream cable network, they pissed off a lot of people, especially those who wanted to watch the Cubs and the Bulls games nationally. Yep, I'd imagine. And they shut down their sports department in 2022 to focus on news. Yeah, it's sad. WTBS was the superstation for TBS, the Turner Broadcasting System. A lot of Chicagoans were happy that they could take WGM with them anywhere else in the country. And unfortunately, it unraveled. I'm not sure why, but news station sounds like a very boring station to me, at least. It sounds like a station that I would easily click off of. Yep. Turner Broadcasting System. Yes, Warner Brothers Discovery. And yeah. Now there are a lot of Warner Brothers stuff, I would imagine. TBS was born out of local Atlanta station WTCG, later WTBS. Now it's WPCH, the new home of the CW in Atlanta. Wow. It's not even TBS anymore. Oh well, at least the glory was there while it lasted. I'm not sure how TBS and TNT are doing, but Warner Brothers Discovery took some huge losses off of CBN and Cartoon Network due to garbage ratings. CNN. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, CNN is fake news, CBN this and that. Yeah, I don't watch CNN a lot, to be honest, but I guess it's not too bad, not too interesting nor credible. I can't say anything because I don't watch it, but probably won't watch it. TBS still lives on. Yep. And they broadcast some of they broadcast MLB, and they broadcast some of those NHL playoff games. Which, by the way, I didn't watch CBS or CBN or CNN, MSNBC or Fox News. Yeah, I'm not a big news guy, to be honest, so I don't keep myself updated. TBS and TNT were awesome back in the 90s. In fact, TBS is part of the reason why Cartoon Network was formed. Yeah. I watched local news. Yeah, my mom watches the local news as well, and she gathers stuff for the weather, and I don't know. I guess my TV presence has diminished. I don't watch TV as much. I can't stand any of those networks. They are all liars. Turner acquired MGM for a short period, but then sold it back to their original owners, but retained TNT or MGM, pre-1986 library, which was full of cartoons. Isn't that crazy? MGM is still MGM. Well, now it's owned by Amazon, but now they lost part of their history, pretty much. Plus, they acquired Hanna-Barbera. They have all these cartoons and had no choice but to create a 24/7 cartoon channel with this gold mine of libraries. And that would eventually become Cartoon Network and Boomerang eventually. Well, Boomerang, in all intents and purposes, for most of the pre-86 stuff, and anything after that as well. There's this news anchor from Houston that's named Lena De Florias. She does mornings in Houston on Fox 26 in Houston, and she used to work at 3 TV here in Phoenix. Hey, there you go. Now we share something in common. We share a news anchor. Yeah, I've seen her on Fox 26 before. Now, what I want to ask though is how come we don't have TNT or TBS do? Never mind. I'm not gonna ask that again, but it's gonna suck for those who don't want to have to pay for cable or cable networks, that they have to resort to using sites like VIP Box or Stream East or Violist Sports, or with those pirate sites to watch the finals, the Stanley Cup final. You know, there's another news anchor on that same station that does evenings. Her name is Caroline Collins. I also follow her on social media. Caroline Collins. Sorry, man. Man, I have to watch some more news then. Yeah. ABC 13 had Marvin Zindler, who was a consumer advocate. He had a cool segment on dirty restaurants called Slime in the Ice Machine. Sadly, he passed away in 2007. Aww. 2007. Then I'm like, oh, how can I have watched that person then? But he died. So let's see what's going on in this playoff series. NBA playoffs. I don't watch NBA, but I do want to get a few games along the way. Of course, the Knicks defeat the Pistons 4-2 in the series. The Nuggets advance after Game 7. Rockets have tied the series at 3 with the Warriors. Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Lakers 4-1. Boston Celtics 4-1 against the Magic. And the Cleveland Cavaliers 4-0 win in the series. What else? I think that's it. Indiana Pacers. They win the series 4-1. Pacers, Cavaliers, Knicks, Celtics, Nuggets, Thunder. Let's see who the Thunder faced. Probably a sweep, if I had to guess, against the Grizzlies. Yep, it was a freaking sweep. And then I think that's it. We, of course, would have to look at the Warriors and the Rockets as one of the next opponents. Which news station would you consider number one in Houston? I think I might sound biased, but since this is the station that my mom watches all the time, I'd say ABC 13. ABC 13, KTRK. Oh, and even Christian seems to agree. Marvin was part of my Instagration. We just invented a new word, folks. Instagration. Inspiration to start podcasting and talk to consumers. Yeah. Marvin. Marvin Zindler. My favorite guy from there, from ABC 13, is Tim Heller, the old meteorologist. Him and Dave Ward. Childhood memories. Anyways, the number one station in Phoenix are Arizona's Family, which is Channel 3 and Channel 5. So it'd be CBS and, yeah. CBS. Oh my goodness. Channel 5 is CBS here in Phoenix, and Channel 3 is an independent. They're owned by the same company, Gray Television. I'm trying to think of another affiliate that owns, or not an affiliate, but company that owns two different affiliated stations. I'm not sure if that's possible. I guess Fox and My20, but they're basically the same, so I don't think it counts. Still remember when Time Warner got into a carriage dispute when Disney back in 1999 that resulted in them dropping ABC 13. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire fans were freaking out. Oh, if you're talking about carriage disputes, well, Dish has been the subject of carriage disputes. They took Univision out. They've also taken CBS out, which I had to watch the 49ers and the Cowboys on, that viral game where Dak Prescott wasn't able to spike it in time during the wild card. I had to watch it on Nickelodeon instead of CBS. Got to the point where ABC 13 gave out free antennas and the audio of their newscasts, and the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire were broadcast over one of the radio stations. Interesting. Radio stations, I never thought that would happen, actually. Fox owns Channel 10 to 45 here in Phoenix. What about KPNX? Oh, that's Channel 12, NBC. I think I remember calling, when it comes to Dish and their disputes, you can't even call Dish without giving your account number, which I don't know. To give you the best possible options, please enter your account number. Oh my goodness, that makes me upset. Well, not truly upset, but it's not very ethical, just to put it in short term. Anyways, Channel 12 is owned by Tegna, and channels 15 and 51 by Scripps. Scripps, I think, owns Las Vegas, where the Golden Knights are broadcast, and maybe, or no, hold on. Where are Golden Knights broadcast? Vegas 34. Yep, they own Channel 34 in Vegas. Where are Florida Panthers broadcast? Yeah, the Panthers also, I think, for the Panthers, they're also broadcast through Scripps, I think. Alright, let's cover the NHL. Let's see. The Golden Knights advance 4-2. Toronto Maple Leafs advance 4-2. Edmonton Oilers advance to 4-2. Washington Capitals 4-1. Florida Panthers 4-1. Carolina Hurricanes 4-1, and the recent one right now. They also own Channel 13, the ABC station in Vegas. Bingo. Avalanche Stars face off. In the second period, a score on the shorthand by Josh Manson, which puts the Avalanche 1-0 against the Stars. And then they head into the third period. And opening the third period, Nathan McKinnon shoots one and scores. And then Mikko Rantanen answers one goal and then two on a power play. And then Tyler Johnston on the third goal on another power play. And then to finish off the gracious night, Mikko Rantanen with an empty netter. And the Dallas Stars advance on a 4-3 series win against the Avalanche.
I'm just like you. Now that's not true. You're just like me. Excuse me? Bro, I am bro.
Since the Golden Knights, Apollo almost acquired Tecna a few years ago. I remember a few years ago, I was doing some Gannett logos, and they were called Gannett, and I guess Gannett's the name Gannett spun off into a newspaper company. Some Golden Knights games air in Phoenix on KASW Channel 61, which is also owned by Scripps. Okay, Christian, I remember that. Since they own Cox, they also wanted to merge Tecna with Cox. I'm not sure why Cox wanted to exit Houston. Probably music related. Something. Because you know how companies blame certain shortcomings on money and cost rising. Gannett became Tecna, then they spun off a new Gannett, which consisted of their newspapers. Yeah. I also remember back when Sinclair tried to purchase Tribune back in 2017, but that was terminated, which allowed Nexstar to purchase Tribune. I remember that as well. Sinclair wanted to form LMAs with other companies for the stations they couldn't legally acquire. Man, these stations are doing some crazy stuff. Sorry. No, that's not what I'm trying to look for. No, it's just a CD. I don't. Tribune, WGN's owner itself, split in 2014. The original Tribune became Tribune Media, and they spun off the newspaper division into Tribune Publishing. I don't trust Sinclair. They're a right-wing organization who tries to brainwash viewers. Respect. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of sad that we can't have a completely neutral perspective. Well, we can, but nobody dares to, because you're going to have people from the left wing trying to criticize, or people from the right wing trying to criticize. Like, why can't we have just one deal where everybody can share some common ground and not just be politically divided? Like, this is why I wish political parties weren't a thing, because it creates rivalries that, well, it might never end. Oh no. It's just how politics excluded. Yeah. I feel like politics, especially in this day and age, is much more inclusive in everybody's freaking pie. Well, not necessarily everybody, but most people, I should say. And it's sad to see, oh, you didn't vote for Trump. I'm sad. Or, I'm gonna cancel you because you didn't vote for Harris. I'm just putting examples. Like, I truly wish political parties were illegal, because political parties do nothing but frickin' divide people from, and that's how George Washington wanted it to not be. He didn't want no darn political parties. He just wanted one unified country, and we can't even have that. Fox News claims to be fair about Jerry. Oh, Jerry, welcome in. God bless you. Okay, Christian. Remember how we were talking about Jerry and how we had, let's just say that he's not having the best of luck. He's been going through a rough time, and let's see if he can talk about it. Let's see if he wants to talk about it and elaborate in detail. Well, not in every detail, but you know what I mean. See if he wants from bat, like baseball bat, or Batman, or Christian, but avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. Yeah, both sides are guilty. Both sides are guilty of criticizing people without mercy. They don't show mercy, whether it's, this guy criticizing over social media or criticizing over humanly action that happens. All I gotta say is 2028 can't come soon enough. Oh, is that going to be your year? The devil created politics to divide people up. Yeah, I I truly wish that politics didn't involve two parties, uh, or maybe wasn't necessarily a thing, at least to the degree in which it is right now, because it divides people and it makes us that we can get rid of the current president. Turn your fan down. It's gonna blow up. No, it doesn't blow up. God bless you, System Mic Noise. Um, this fan's all right. It's gonna last for quite a while, honestly. Yeah. So I was talking about Christian. I was talking about Jerry. Remember, uh, he he broke up, and he basically is going through all this, and then he built up this relationship, and it went all crashing. And I don't know, but I imagine that he's having some big time trouble trying to get over it. And I just wanted to let you know that maybe you could provide him some advice. Oh, Alive and Kicking from Simple Minds playing at 12:56 a.m. on Jack FM. My AC just kicked in and it feels good. I love putting my AC at around 70. Well, 1 degree lower actually is the sweet spot, but I'll just say 70 just because, just for the sake of it. Oh my goodness. Jerry, I went through something similar, but not exact, back in 2009. I just want you to know that God is looking out for you. He will point you in the right direction to go. Oh, and if that new partner doesn't come, just know this: God's love is always with you, no matter where you go and no matter what you do. Even if you, uh, I'm not saying that this will happen uh, severely or but even if you commit sins, which is something we all do, let's be honest, His love for you will always be there. And it's greater than any love that you could ask for. And there's a sheesh right there. That's what Adam calls these moments. Sheesh. Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid. Neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. A huge siege time quote from verse from chapter 1, verse 9, Joshua. Let me turn on the AC, turn it down just a little bit so it can get cooler. 69. If there's one thing to know about me, I sweat a lot easier than my parents do. God's love is power, and its power is stronger than any adversity out there. Depression, betrayal, sickness, fear. These things are instrumental or tools to pieces by God. Amen. I only wish Adam was here to hear what Jerry has to comment about this. Because he provides some great verses as well. There's a new bilingual CHR station in Orlando, Party 93.9 and 103.5, which is actually WKUND 10:30 a.m. in Oviedo, Florida, with 2 FM translators. It's nice to hear FM and AM. AM for the long distance and FM for the high quality. I prefer FM, honestly, but if I don't have any choice, I'll try to look for the AM. Unfortunately for Jack FM, there's no AM. It's just FM. At least my station. We don't have an FM signal for Victoria Jack FM. That's the one thing that I'll say. The only way to get, it's either from their stream, from their website, or de-exit. Yep. I'm back up. Okay, so I pinned a verse that my friend Christian had posted. Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest. I know what you're going through, Jerry, and I just wanted to let you know that the Lord's love is always with you wherever you go, and that no matter where you are and what you do, no matter what sin, the Lord, as long as you don't turn away and worship another God, of course, but the Lord will always be there for you when you truly need Him the most. My mistake. WONQ. And Big Al, do you know how to DX stations? Asks Christian. Man, I wish I did. Christian, I've seen lots of DX videos on YouTube. Yep. Same here. Let's see how to DX a station. Too bad I can't do that with Kite from Mexico, where I'll be, because it's only 500 watts of power. I saw that someone was able to DX the spot from St. Louis, Missouri. That's interesting. DXing is contingent on wind conditions. Man, now you got me looking up how to DX. I've seen others DX other Houston stations from Mexico. Interesting.
Put your little patch cable, your headphone out to this, and then plug in your USB, make sure it's powered up, and then it's approximately and you can usually see just a nice accident for this.
Can you hear me now?
You no longer have to settle for those. All right.
That's fine. I'm done.
Oh, one of you guys would like to help me out, but I need a reference.
Oh, we got a video. I watched a video where the guy was DXing KPRC in Houston back in central Illinois. Wow, that's interesting. Slowway Love, or COA, excuse me, sorry. COA Love, God bless you. Welcome it. It's crazy impressive. I didn't, oh my god, no. I didn't think it was possible to DX from that far away. That's even further away. Okay, so I could tell that they were playing White Snake, Here I Go Again, the 87 mix. There's two versions of Here I Go Again. There's the one that starts off boom, 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 with all the drums and stuff, and there's this one with this low. And they're also playing Get Down on It. It's really awesome how they do it. Impressive too. Yeah. The real trick to document their songs, if they, let's say a radio station doesn't have a playlist, like Kite, one thing that I'd like to definitely see is how to stop my iPhone from like literally quitting on Shazam every so often, because it does that and it's getting annoying, and I have to go back into Shazam and auto Shazam it again, and it's annoying. Spot probably played the condensed version. They do it for all of their songs. They cut out most of the Freebirds guitar solo. Yeah, I'd imagine. Oh, Head Over Heels. Footloose from Kenny Loggins. Huh. Jack FM actually makes some funny remarks whenever they're going to play a commercial, like, Jack FM, we're playing what we want, doesn't play the Bills or something. And then there's also Jack FM is going to make a quick trip to the bank or something. Those are just examples, right? So either way, it's amazing. Man, I'm still ecstatic about that Dallas Stars win. Jack FM is going to be more prevalent in the next novel, where me and Chrissy visit you again. It's going to be on our non-stop in our car as we traverse Port Lavaca. I really hope Jack FM has one of those moments again Like, remember how we looked at these random songs? I hope they introduce more songs like, lately they did some rock when they were doing it. Of course, they haven't done that since December, but I, I mean, I hope they do it again. Those things were lots of fun. Jack, one time back at home, back in 2005, I heard WWL in New Orleans, all the way back in Grand Rapids, Missouri, some 1,200 miles away. Sheesh. By the way, if you're wondering what sheesh is, it's like, no way. No way, really? How were you able to get it in WWL in Grand Rapids? Oh, Grand Rapids. For some reason, I thought MI meant Mississippi, but no, it's Michigan. Mississippi is MS. Yeah, Grand Rapids, Michigan. I don't know what I was thinking. Darn it. Oh, another video. Alright, let's see what's going on here. This Honduras. Wow. The box. Man, I wish Kite had a better signal. I truly would. You could probably get 93.3 The Wolf. 93.3 The Wolf, if you're wondering, is our country station, locally owned by Victoria Radio Works. And dang, it's amazing. You can get that, but not the classic hit station, Kite. How many? 100 kilowatts for 93.3 The Wolf. And meanwhile, Kite only has 500 watts. Sheesh. It sounds like your radio at that time was able to DX without any modifications. There's a public news station at 870 in Lansing, but it goes off the air at night. Yeah. Victoria isn't far from Houston, so all of their stations could most likely be DX'd and in good quality from here. Yep. I think so. I heard on 870 about that 2 a.m. Eastern Time, and I heard WWL station ID, and they went to CBS News. Oh man, I wish that that this station would just turn to this classic hit station. I wish we could get it farther and more I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. Huh, interesting. I believe Odyssey still has an agreement in place with Paramount to carry CBS News on their stations. Maybe. Oh crap, I have to plug this in because my phone could die at any moment. Another thing about the AM radio in Grand Rapids, you can hear Chicago stations at night. Yeah, sounds fair. Detroit and Chicago are relatively close. True. Grand Rapids and Chicago are just across Lake Michigan from each other. Sheesh. Oh, check this out. In the 1980s, as technology evolved, radio station, I'm just going to call it Canal, provided visitors to the Victoria, Texas livestock show and rodeo in the latest in electronic entertainment. The new, exciting, innovative Pac-Man for free. By this time, this young lady was still old enough to play. The game was obsolete. But when it came to broadcast technology, Canal's engine, it's KNAL, but I just call it Canal. Its engineering team kept the station's signal and electronics at state-of-the-art readiness. Here they broadcast live via telephone landlines from a remote studio based in a VW microbus. Taken 1982, wow. You can hear WBBM 780, 890, 670, 10, or 1000 and 720. Just have the antenna to the right spot. That's awesome. Now here's a old 1982 broadcast, or not broadcast, but photo of this radio station. Just seeing in the 1980s feels kind of nostalgic, even though I wasn't there. And they broadcast it over phone lines? I think so. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what it says. Of course, WMAQ, which is only NBC, gives way to current sports format in the early 2000s, and WGN 720 is the only radio station owned by Nexstar. Yeah. They were doing the livestock show for this station here. Another image from around 1982. These are some cool pics from radio history. Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't there at all, but I could tell this was such a big thing back then. And WGN 720 has the broadcast rights to Chicago Blackhawks, Northwestern University football and basketball, and the NFL on Westwood One. So, this is the truck for 14:10 a.m. Back in the 1980s. By the way, look at that restroom plate there. I'd love to live one day in the 1980s just to see what it looks like. I think Senor Luis. Yep, this was before they became Kite. I'm going to assume that they blasted their station over those horn speakers on the roof of the truck. That's what I think too. Okay, black and white photo. Apparently also from 1982. But I'm not too sure. I can make out one of these albums, which is an album called Locho Kiroi? Locho Quiroz y sus halcones de Texas. Album from 1982. It looks like something from like 1949, except for the electronics. Oh goodness, there we go. And then this is it again, 1982, but in black and white. A kite format station would be great for Houston. I mean, the Spot and the Eagle are pretty close, but they need more variety. Well, let me tell you something. Kite, they added on April 30th, I want to say. I could be wrong. But they added the Power Station, Some Like It Hot. They added a song that is requested from time to time called Wang Chung, To Live and Die in LA. They also added Bonnie Tyler, Total Eclipse of the Heart, and they finally returned Danger Zone from Kenny Loggins there. Does the Eagle play some 90s rock? They only play music up to the 80s and 90s. Only music up to the 80s. 90s alternative rock can be found on 94.5 The Buzz. A few years ago, I heard Tool play on the Buzz, and that means the Sunny 91 sister station to the Buzz, they share some songs. Yeah, I think the 70s and 80s is the that's what that station would be, the Eagle. I know many classic rockers have some 90s on their stations. I know that we used to have a former rock station that used to have, now it's a Tejano station, but back then we had a station called Club Classic Rock, which used to play some Metallica and possibly some Bush. I think Bush. 94.5 The Buzz are alternative and active rock hybrid. The Eagle really wants to put a prime focus on classic rock due to them having included Houston's only classic rock, as they have built themselves ever since Clear Channel killed 93.7 The Arrow. Right. Makes sense. Hey, you know what? Again, getting a lot of boat. Now, of course, I can't boat anymore because the deadline has passed, but apparently one of the topics in terms of boating for I forgot what it was. District something something. District 5 City Council seat. One of the things they want to do is they want to make a hospital district in town. You know, some people are for it and some people against it. I don't really mind either way. Before that, Cox used the Eagle as a classic hit station, which is formerly known as 107.5, the new K-Hits from 2006 to 2009. Prior to that was Oldies 107.5 when Cox acquired from Clear Channel due to the AM/FM merger in 2000. Let's see what's going on in them Victoria Chamber ambassadors.
Go.
Golden Crescent Casa. Got some scissors. Victoria Chamber ambassadors are a group of people from the Victoria Chamber of Commerce, which goes around and spectates new businesses opening in Victoria. I don't think they do stuff in Port Lavaca, but I could be wrong. Probably don't. The problem with their videos is that most of them they are outside and they're not very audible. I think it's cool how Cox uses the Eagle on 2 frequencies to cover the entire Houston Galveston market. Under Clear Channel 107.5 was home with the Buzz, and 94.5 was the oldie station. They swapped with the Clear Channel, and Clear Channel sold the 107.5 is the only oldest one. Now, it's still the same case under Durbin 1. Cox noticed that the Eagle's KGLK signal was not C grade, so they flipped their alternative format on 106.9 KHPT on the north side of the area to a simulcast on Eagle, and boom, problem solved. See your brother Gary appears.
We're ready. Yes.
Ray. Oh, there's Brother Gary, right there. Gypsy, my daughter. Nice. Prior to 107.9 simulcasting the Eagle, it was alternative rock station 906.9 to sound. Only lasted until mid 2011, since November 2010. Well, that was a short time. Ooh. I want to react to this with a star. Adam sent me a thing here. A meme about the avalanche choking. I'm going to send him a star, because that's who won. Alright. Bingo. Okay, when I moved to Phoenix in late 1998, wow. Late 1998, we had a rock station called the Edge, which was on 2 frequencies. And before that, it was late 80s hit station 106.9 The Point, and which lasted from 2000 until November 2010. It was a Christian station in the 90s. 106.9 covered the Phoenix and West Valley, 103 covered the East Valley. One of these days, we're going to be frickin' DXing every single station in the world. From not only United States, but also Mexico, Canada, what else? Maybe even a station or two from Germany or France. I know that's a lot to ask for, but who knows? Maybe with these technological advancements, it happens. Most stations. Oh, that's the exam seeing Pickle Eagles in Northside. Now no coverage cost simulcast HPT and Conrail. Union Vision. Most exiting video. Wow, I didn't even know Univision had some stations. radio stations.
Starting with the 1920s, a White Castle original slider, which had slider patty, freshly chopped onions, a bun, and got cheese. We didn't have that yet. But how does it taste? I'll give it a 7. Welcome to the 50s, where they had Dairy Queen, dog, baked by nice, a hot dog, shredded cheese, a bun, onions, and of course, now what is this taco? Gotta be good. Great. Well, my pity.
You run that one too. One you really miss is pretty good. 1049. Yeah, it makes sense. Univision TV and radio studios within the same facility. And I assume Houston Public Media does the same thing with Houston Public Radio as well. What else? KPIC. Houston is yeah. Anywhere in Texas, well, maybe except if you're a bit north, but most of Texas, at the very least, is a prime candidate for Hispanic populations. Euphoria. Univision, I'll also mention they were bought by Televisa from Mexico, and so they're owned by them. Houston is one of the largest. Trying to think of something I could comment about. I don't know. I'm still very happy that the Stars won. Because Tom and Chase created competition. Wow. Cumulus and Clear Channel. No way. KLOL. Yeah, to get rid of the KLOL. You know, the Buzz or 96.5. Wow, that's funny. They had to get rid of one of the stations that made them laugh. And they would get it. Wow. That puts the LOL in CBS. That's all I'm gonna say. Clone of Sunny. Yeah, it makes sense. KOL was a rock station before they went Spanish. Pretty funny name. I'll say that much. Okay, I'm looking at 101.5 Jack FM, Richmond, in Lexington, Kentucky. Sorry. And apparently it went silent. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Sorry. And when it flips to Spanish, a lot of people were pissed off. Or new S.O.S lost guys. Since what happened? More than a month ago. Yeah. Well, Big Al just covered about St. Louis's news talk, which was Hot 104.1. We did touch base on that a few streams ago. Listeners would call. Yep. I think you mentioned, Christian, that they thought that their radios or stereos, that the radio was broken, basically. You know. That's insane. You tune in, and next thing you know, that station. You know what? Club Classic Rock back in 2022, I think, or 23. It switched. Well, it didn't switch entirely, but what happened is there was Selena Quintanilla playing non-stop on that station. And I'm like, what the heck? This is a rock station, not a... So they're considering this rock, huh? And then the next day they would switch formats to freaking that Spanish. Well, Tejano. Jack FM should return to Houston because it's the largest. You know what, Miguel? I'm gonna send another request to Jack FM. Alright, I'm a Jack FM listener. Port Laka. Please consider strongly returning to Houston, Texas. That's all I'm gonna put. I agree is... Oh wait, I agree is that. Okay. Jack Tunes. Jack FM even has a store. A merch store. If y'all want to look at the merch store for Jack FM, I'll even link it here. Yeah. The KLOL rock format only lasted 2 years and in the Jack FM play. Okay. My goodness. Yeah, they got aprons, they got hats, shirts, all the basic essentials, essentially. Then Air One acquired the station from Cumulus. Yeah, Jack FM. I hope they return to Houston. Now the question is, are they going to use the same playlist as KTXN, which is 98.7 Jack FM in Victoria? Or are they going to use something like what many of the stations use the same playlist of songs, but others have a different list of songs. To this day, Air One is still on 103.7. Yep, 103.7. See how long it lasts. I've always wondered that as well. Yes, exactly. That's what they do. They provide the playlist, but some stations actually have different formats in terms of their playlists. And not even the songs are the same. Some of them even have different types of songs. Like I remember one station playing a bunch of other songs, which I can't remember. WQSR actually has a way different playlist. That's in Baltimore, Maryland. It has a slightly different playlist, but still very similar. They even have "Till I Hear It From You" from Jim Blossoms. And let's see what else. More of the same actually, but slightly different. And then the owners of Jack FM basically decide how they're going to run those playlists. Since they're all of playing what we want, or what they want to be as random as they can get. Yeah, that's basically the whole gag. I remember one time I was actually, oh, Jack FM's ordinary list, only $5 and is their least popular item. Probably because they think it's $5 until you realize that you also have to pay for shipping, which still not a bad deal considering that you pay like $12 for a single T-shirt in freaking Walmart. Which, by the way, these American Giant T-shirts that I have here, I bought them over the over the months in Victoria, and I love them. See if I have one here that I can show you. Nope, I don't have one, but I'll go one from here. This is probably the main one just because it's red. But let me show you. I love these shirts. They're made out of cotton, which I highly recommend. Oh, and they're also made in the United States, which is also nice and dandy. I love the feel of these shirts. Like, yes, obviously, in order for it to be this cheap, they have to be like second to best quality. But still, for what they're worth, they feel absolutely amazing in that. And I'm going to probably buy more of these as time goes on. Because they're cool and awesome. And I really become infatuated with these. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. Walmart in Victoria on Navarro. Well, not Navarro, but sort of Navarro, but it's just a few steps in it. Never mind. No. Yeah, it's in Walmart. I'm not sure if you could buy it at about any Walmart. Here in Port Lavaca, you can't get it. You have to go to Victoria and buy it. But yeah, those are some nice shirts. Me and Chrissy made a quick stop at Walmart in Port Lavaca later in the story. Yeah. Walmart, HEV, maybe Texas Traditions or Green Iguana Grill or White's Barbecue, you name it. Bucky's. And they're also going to create a speedy stop there, and hopefully we're going to get um, somewhere in the future uh, the Texan. I've I'd go on a limb and say that the Texan uh, is a very good competitor for, you know, for this, for Bucky's. Like, don't get me wrong, the Bucky's is awesome, but the Texan is even, it's got lots of great stuff as well. And they have this guy, not this guy, but they got supplier from Fredericksburg selling handmade soap uh, and hand soap, like the one you squirt, and the bar. And they also have lotions. And it's really good. I never heard of the Texan actually. They've got 2 stations in Victoria. They're from Yorktown, I think. Yeah, Yorktown. And they've only now have expanded. If you go to Victoria one day, you should stop at a Texan. It's very awesome from the inside. In a way, it's kind of like Speedy Stop. But they got some really good homemade stuff there. Maybe I'll stop there in the next novel. LOL. We'll find out in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, when it comes to Texan convenience stores, Bucky's, Speedy Stop, you name it. Where is Stripes located? Stripes as well. Oh wow, Stripes is headquartered in Corpus Christi. 7-Eleven. Yeah, 7-Eleven. Exxon. Wait. That doesn't count. That's the gas provider. Swift. Stripes is all over Houston. They have Laredo Taco inside of them. Yep. My mom loves that Laredo Taco. Even though she's Mexican and generally disapproves of Tex-Mex, she really loves that. Okay, Swift stuff. Okay, Swift. Swift Fuel Station. That's a brand I've never heard of, but also opened. It opened in Point Comfort actually. Laredo Taco once had ghost pepper tamales, which I never got to try. Don't worry. At least you didn't get to experience the burning pain like Adam once did with the wood chip challenge. Apparently, Swift is also owned by Exxon? Question mark? Or maybe not. I'm just tripping. I love my spicy foods, but the one chip challenge is a bozo no-no to me. I've seen Swift gas stations around here. Yeah, that's the one that have not heard of, and it's completely new to me. What other gas stations are there? Or convenience store? Oh, there you go. Somewhere to turn to whenever you need some gas and you can't drive far away. Murphy, USA. I see these a lot near Walmart. Uh, and Lowe's. Well, there's one near Lowe's, so yeah. Oh. I've never seen a Lowe's with a gas station. Well, Lowe's has a Murphy USA near it, at least in Victoria. Um, yeah. Just trying to look at other stations. But yeah, what if I told you that Grand Rapids, Michigan has two of the most powerful radio signals in the country? I can't say anything about that, but Adam can. And guess what he would say? He would say, "Sheesh. Sheesh." Shell. Oh, Shell is from from England? What? Shell is a British company, but their USA headquarters are in Houston. Man, all these years I didn't think that Shell was British. Look up W. Okay, let's look it up. B93. New country. 320,000 watts. That's 25,000 square miles. And let's look up WSRV. Gainesville, Georgia. No, wait. No. Or WSRW. Sorry. Let's see. 265,000 watts. That overpowers what we have in 93.3 The Wolf. Their higher power is grandfather. That is actually insane. Sheesh. You can hear 8B93 in parts of northern Indiana, eastward towards Detroit, and northward to Big Rapids. Wow. Dang. You overpowered my country's big out, my country station, The Wolf, 93.3 The Wolf. Dang. And I thought that one was decently strong, but boy, I was wrong. But then again, it's grandfathered, and you can't have anything more than 100,000 watts. So, yeah. Alright, guys, unfortunately, I have to head to bed now. Yes, we'll have a prayer. I call B93 the country flamethrower. Yes! Alright, Father. I pray that this week that you're giving us may be filled of wonders that lead you in line with you. I pray that everybody be filled with the same grace that you fill with us. I pray also for Jerry and Christian that their difficulties may be met with success and with a great reward. Do not let them down, Lord, for they have toiled to the max, to the limits. Also, Lord, I pray for my school that I may pass calculus and chemistry and transfer soon to A&M Kingsville. And I also pray for anybody who doesn't align with you, that they may align with you so that you may be able to provide for them. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. And the fun part is B93 and Star 105.7 are both owned by iHeartRadio. Yeah. Yeah, boy. iHeartRadio gets 2 of the biggest juicy pieces of steak. No doubt about it. Amen. God bless you. Go. Yes. We'll see you next time, Christian. Sleep deep. Rise and shine bright. And go in peace. And seek the love of the Lord. Sleep well, my friend. And yeah. Thank you again for sticking around here. I'm just going to look at some Portillo's. We're almost at the end of the stream. Good night now. Thanks again for the great stream and the prayer. Anytime, my friend. Most of the stations in the area broadcast no more than 50,000 watts. Yeah. Apparently you can't have anything past 100,000 watts. So, yeah. WVGR, which is a public news station in Michigan Public Radio Network. It's also gratified at 96,000 watts. That's plenty of that's plenty of power. Plenty of it. Your transmitter is located on tower used by Wood TV8. Oh, another interesting name. Wood. Are you a native? God bless you, a fish and animal. I am not native, unless you count being of Mexican blood or El Salvadoran blood as a native. But other than that, not immediate. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna call it, folks. Thank you, Big Al, for joining in, and thank you, Christian, once again. And who else? Everybody else. Savina, as well. Efficient Animal. Sleep deep, rise and shine bright, and go in peace. And seek the love of the Lord. SSGT06, thank you for joining in. God bless you. I'm about to end the stream, but I'll be back tomorrow at an undefined time. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see the rest of the streams, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified, folks. I'm out. Peace.